Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Naked CTF. I'm Jono from OpenLearnSec, and in the Naked CTF series, I will attempt to compromise and own a server from HackTheBox. This is my first attempt at this box. I've not solved it beforehand nor read anything about it. It's one take with no editing, so this could be 30 minutes or it could be 3 hours. Let's go! So today we're going to be doing Granny. We did Grandpa last time, so I figured it's only fair that we do Granny now. Machine is still spawning, it says, but it should be up and running, I think, by now. Yeah, no idea what this is about, but let's get stuck into it. That's the fun of discovering all this stuff along the way. So let's run CTF prep, CTF HTB. What's the actual name? Granny? Yeah, Granny. Granny, and then the IP address sets up the environment for me. Let's go. We should have some notes generated for Granny. There it is, right next to Grandpa. Very sweet. And let's do nmap. Well, first of all, let's move into our working directory. CTF HTB Granny. And nmap all ports, SC, SSV, T4 timing, verbose, output to nmap output, capital N, nmap1.txt, and our target IP. So that's going to run now. Windows box, still in the easy. I don't think we're far away from moving into the next difficulty, which will be medium. As always, we'll try and do it all in adventure mode. If we get stuck, we can use guided mode to get some hints about maybe where to go next. Actually, oh yeah, there is hints for this. And if we get really stuck, we will look at the walkthrough. But trying to do this with as little hints and inputs as possible. So the connect scan still going. All right. So while we wait, notes are getting a little bit better. Based on the experience from some of these boxes, generally after each CTF exercise, I'll go back and fine-tune things, add things, update things in here. I've still got a long list of stuff to research, and, you know, basically go and read and then put it into my notes. This is where I've gotten stuck or something along the way in a previous exercise. Just while we wait, we might actually update some of this. We've already got our word lists kind of sorted out. SMB domain enums. Subdomain enum commands to be standardized. Yep, so I need to do that. I've kind of got those notes. Yeah, so anyway, all good. Connect scan is completed. Now just doing the service discovery, and here we go. Let's have a look. I'll just shrink it down so I can try and get it all on one page. And yep, there it is. Just one port, it seems. Wow, okay. So not a whole lot of reconnaissance in terms of the number of services, but we'll obviously be looking exclusively at port 80. There is a possibility that we may need to look at UDP. We don't do that in this nmap scan by default. So if we get stuck, maybe we'll have a look at UDP. So what are we looking at? Okay, well, like Grandpa, the Grandpa box, it's IIS HTTP 6.0, so Internet Information Server. That under construction page looks to be the default as well. Lots of supported HTTP methods. Put prop find, prop patch, search. These are all WebDAV methods, so I want to keep that in mind. And then it runs a WebDAV discovery script, and it looks like a lot of the WebDAV methods are available through the NSE script. So let's just do casual browse of website. Another option, and just to be super clear, we're focusing on HTTP port 80. We can do directory and file enumeration, and we can also do vulnerability research for IS 6.0. And we want to explore possible foothold via WebDAV. Okay, let's get into it. So we'll grab the IP here and we'll do http://IP. And I think it's going to be that under construction page, which is like, yeah, the default IIS homepage. So not a lot there that we can identify. But obviously the interesting stuff here is these WebDAV verbs that are available. These methods, options, get. So get is download a file. Put is to upload a file via WebDAV. Prop find, prop patch. So yeah, not a lot to look at really. So let's just blow this up a bit. I think I'm going to skip the file and directory enumeration for now. And I just want to go and read a bit more about WebDAV abuse. Not WebDAV, WebDAV. IIS 5.1 and 6.0 WebDAV authentication bypass vulnerability. This is from Trend Micro. Here's the CVE. So MS09020. So let's grab this. Possible WebDAV vector using so same issue. This is just the official CVE from 2009, and this refers to the Microsoft Security Bulletin which addressed this issue. So we'll have a look at that first. I do like using the Microsoft Bulletin reference because the CVE just always turns up a bunch of junk. There's just dozens and dozens and dozens of websites that reference the CVE, but they don't actually provide any detail. They're just carrying the actual CVE metadata. It's possible to bypass authentication on the remote web server due to a flaw in the WebDAV extension for IIS. An anonymous remote attacker may be able to bypass authentication by sending a specially crafted HTTP request and gain access to a protected location. Microsoft has released a set of patches for 2000 XP 2003. So this is definitely one worth having a look at. Let's see here. WebDAV POC. So it looks like there is a Metasploit module. I'm going to try to actually exploit it without using Metasploit. So here's some code on GitHub. Oh, this is cool. This is like a bunch of Privesc exploits. WebDAV. So if we go back to Grandpa, let's have a look at our notes. I don't think I actually completed them, but Grandpa was the last box that we did. And yeah, it didn't have all of this WebDAV methods. Oh no, that's Shocker. What am I doing? Grandpa. Okay, Grandpa. Yeah, so it looks like the enumeration is almost identical in terms of what methods are there. This WebDAV scan script picked up on the available WebDAV methods. So yeah, look, this is a really good example of not taking good notes because sorry, Grandpa we should be looking at. So we used CVE 2017-7269. CVE 2017-7269, yeah. So this exploited this function SC storage path from URL. Now, is it going to be the same initial foothold for both Granny and Grandpa? Because with Grandpa, we used this CVE, which gave us a shell NT Authority network service, and we ended up then using Metasploit local exploit suggester to suggest what our Privesc was going to be, and I believe it was this one, number 2. So I guess we'll fire up. Oops. We'll fire up Metasploit console. I said I didn't want to use it, but I'd like to just quickly check if Granny is vulnerable to this same issue that Grandpa was. So let's have a look. So we're going to search 7269. Yep, which is this exploit. And let's just make things a bit bigger. So we're going to use 0 to open up this particular exploit. We're going to use the default payload, which is the interpreter reverse shell. Show options. And let's do set our hosts is 10, 10, 10, 15. 10, 10, 10, 15. Port is 80. No SSL, no virtual host. Let's do gset. lhost is ton 0. So we don't have to enter that. Oh, gset. Maybe it's set G. Set global. Yeah. So we set it as a global within Metasploit, so we don't have to keep entering it when we jump in and out of different modules. Port is fine. Let's go. So it'd be interesting if it's the same. Yeah, look, interpreter session opened. Exactly the same foothold. So interesting. Let's have a look at Granny. Foothold via IS6 WebDAV. No, with Grandpa. And this is the CV. Alright, so it looks like we've popped the shell. And there we are. Now let's set off all the alarms by running Who Am I? Same thing. So, okay. So Granny and Grandpa have the exact same environment. Like they're both running IS6. They're both vulnerable to this WebDAV CVE. And they both give us the NT authority network service context. And as we went last time, network service is not the same as NT authority system. It is limited in terms of its privileges. You can't, for example, you can't do a lot of stuff actually. Who am I /priv? So, yep, same as before. Change, notify, impersonate, create global. So, I think we'll just follow the same path as before. Let's close this shell, background this session, and then let's search suggester use 0. So it's a bit hard to read with the text wrap. So now we've backgrounded the interpreter shell and we've switched into multi-recon local exploit suggester. And we're going to set the options. So the session form interpreter is 1 as expected. Set session 1. This tells the module to use the existing session and just run. This is going to take like maybe 2 minutes, but it will look for a privesc vector. And I think I've said this in the past, like with a lot of these super basic easy CTF boxes from HackTheBox, the path that they actually want you to go down is the Metasploit path. They want you to, get familiar with the tool, gain a foothold, do some recon, gain a foothold, and then escalate your privileges. So this is going to give us a bunch, and then we'll filter this list down to okay, we'll start with the ones that are just potentially vulnerable. And let's put that in our notes. So far this is looking almost identical to Grandpa. So not quite sure what's going on here, but this was the vulnerability that was used in Grandpa, so we might as well try it on Grandma and see if it works. I don't know what's going on here. Search MS14058. Let's use that. Let's check the options. So set session is 1. Then we want to set the L port, the local port that it's going to call back on for the reverse shell to something else. And then run. I don't know. Okay, so this is the thing that we ran into on Grandpa, which was the fact that the interpreter process, the interpreter code is injected into an existing process, and that process may not have the correct execution context, if that makes sense. So we'll jump back into our sessions. Sessions 1. Okay, so we do PS. Yes. Yeah, I'm sure there's, I believe, info, no. I believe the interpreter payload is running via run-DLL32 because it's using some sort of DLL injection TTP to actually get up and running. So once it is able to do the RCE part of the exploit, then that results in a new process. But we want to migrate to a new PID, to a new process ID that explicitly has this NT Authority network service. So I think we're just going to pick 3012, which is the web server process itself, from 3140. Yeah, so what happened was 3012 is the web server process itself for IIS, right? So this is the actual web server process. This is the process ID and this is the parent process ID. So this w3wp.exe is launched as process ID 3012 and its parent process is 1480, which is SVC host. Now, when the exploit code ran and interpreter was executed on the host, it spawned as a new process ID 3140 with a parent of 3012. So it was a child process of the web server itself. And you can see that while the web server process has this NT Authority network service user context, which is up here, user, the child process where interpreter payload is running does not. So what we did, we said we want to migrate to 3012, and that gave us through some interpreter magic, you can see the run DLL process is gone, and now our execution context is this. Okay, nice and simple. So now we can background that, and we can try to run again because now we have the interpreter, which is going to run this exploit, has the correct user context. All right, so we've got another session. Let's just back out of this. Sessions -L. So NT Authority's networks, NT Authority network service on Granny, NT Authority system on Granny. So if we do sessions 2 and we start a shell from interpreter, who am I? NT Authority system. So yeah, it's exactly the same exploit chain for Granny as it was for Grandpa. So we must be missing something here. But first of all, let's get the flags. DIR, documents and settings, DIR, blacklist, so the unprivileged user is different to Grandpa. Desktop. And then let's grab the user flag. All right. That's that. And then let's have a look at administrator, desktop. Let's grab the root flag. And then we're done. But I don't think we're going to leave it there. I'd like to understand what's going on here with Granny and Grandpa. So we've solved it. Boom, Granny has been pwned. Sorry, Granny. Didn't mean to pwn you. Let's close this. And now let's have a look at the write-up, because there's obviously something that we're missing here. I feel that maybe there's multiple exploits available. Granny, while similar to Grandpa, can be exploited using several different methods. The intended method of solving this machine is the widely known WebDAV upload vulnerability, which I think the WebDAV upload vulnerability is different to what we used, which is the so I think there's two vulnerabilities we could have used. We just so happened to get a foothold using the same one as Grandpa, because it was like the path of least resistance, right? So let's have a look here. We'll go back to the write-up and just see how they take us through it. So enumeration, Metasploit module IS WebDAV upload immediately grants a shell. Upload ASP. Okay. So if we go back to Meterpreter, and let's kill all of our sessions and kind of start again from the beginning. So, oops. Search. So this is the WebDAV exploit, which is different to 7269, which is also WebDAV related, but it's an actual binary exploit, I think. So this is a buffer overflow, whereas this is more like authentication bypass, and you can upload ASP-based reverse shell. So let's use the other one just for fun. Let's yeah. So if I kind of map this out, both Granny and Grandpa vulnerable to this CVE, web, dav, Unicode, authentication bypass. On Grandpa, we used this guy. And on Granny, let's try it. This is the yep. It's even in the same module category. So this one's 2004, this one's 2017. So long time in between. Let's use 0, which is the upload vulnerability. Show options. And no basic authentication. This must be the method. You can choose what method you actually use, or the exploit uses. And this is what it uploads on the server: Metasploit, and then a random string.asp, which is basically the reverse shell code. So we're going to do set our hosts is 10, 10, 10, 15, I believe. 10, 10, 10, 15, yep. Port is 80, no SSL TLS, no virtual host, reverse shell to me on port 444. Let's actually do this correctly. Our hosts. And then let's exploit. Oh, okay, so it didn't work. Exploit completed, but no session was created. So I wonder if we can view that file, and I wonder why it's uploaded as txt. Maybe it was going to rename it afterwards. So we come here and do parameter is incorrect. Okay. So maybe we need a reset. To actually have this work. Let's just read through the write-up while we're here. Okay. So it looks like if it progresses further than we got, it renames the txt to ASP. I'm assuming it does a remote HTTP call. And then you get a new reverse shell session. And then once you've got that session, just like Grandpa, the local exploit suggester. Okay. And it's at this point, it's a good idea to migrate a process running under NT Authority Network Service. Yep. Okay. And it looks like they used a different privesc vector here. So we used 14058, and in the write-up here they used 15051. So I think what the intention here is from HackTheBox with these kind of partner machines, right? Granny and Grandpa, is they both have multiple. They're both, I'm assuming, identical in terms of configuration, and the image that it's built on, and the version of IIS and the patch level of Windows and everything else. And what they're trying to get you to do as a pen tester is use one set of use one chain of exploits on Granny and a different set on Grandpa, both from a foothold and a priv-esque perspective. So that's definitely interesting approach. It's a little bit unconventional. I haven't seen this kind of overlap between two different boxes before. Let's just quickly hack the box Granny Grandpa. Let's just see if there's some commentary on this. Oh, I like this. Granny right up without Metasploit. Let's have a look how it's done without Metasploit. Okay. Yeah, so this guy on Granny used the exploit that we used on Grandpa, which is this overflow in the prop find method of WebDAV. So they're both the same, not class, but they're both vulnerabilities in the WebDAV service. So we actually did that on Grandpa. We got our foothold without using Metasploit, and we had a reverse shell. Very nice. And then, yeah, this is not the same as, I believe it's not the same as the, no, it is the same as the Metasploit module. So, but it's a Python script, Windows exploit suggester. NG. Yeah, so I've definitely read about this. It's a similar implementation to how Metasploit does it. And yeah, this is quite cool. I'm definitely going to add this to my list of, stuff to research and put into my notes. I'd like to use it in the future. I definitely will the next time I'm looking for a privesc on Windows rather than always defaulting to Ps or WinPs. And the nice thing about this is it differentiates between using a public exploit or a Metasploit module. So you can see here, Metasploit, non-Metasploit, Metasploit, Metasploit, etc. So yeah, we've definitely learnt some stuff from the intention of both Granny and Grandpa, which is to do, the same outcome, but use different methods to get there. So really cool. I've enjoyed that. I'm definitely going to explore this tool more and kind of bring it into my toolkit, although it is 9 years old. Or 7 years old. It's the last update. So I wonder if there's kind of a newer fork that's under active development. Yeah, this looks to be a little bit more. This looks to be a little bit more actively developed, which is cool. And it's a pip module. Nice. And yeah, so I'm going to go and play with this and learn a bit more about it and add it to my list of TTPs. because it definitely seems like a useful tool. In addition to things like the Metasploit local exploit suggester, in addition to WinPs, etc., in addition to just trying to find a misconfiguration, maybe a high privileged Windows service that doesn't have quoting in the image path, that sort of thing. So very cool. I think this might be a world record for this series, 40 minutes, but that's because it was identical to the last box that we did. But we took the lesson as well, in the sense that there's, you know, multiple paths and exploit chains that can be taken advantage of to get the result, which is capturing the flag. All right. It's been a lot of fun. If you stuck around to the end of this video, thanks very much. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, whatever time it is for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.